Welcome to this 30-minute practice of yin and tension release. In these 30 minutes, I'm going to guide you through different yin yoga postures that will target the hip area, the hip flexor, to stretch and put stress on the psoas muscle. At the end of the class, we're going to do some shaking. The shaking will happen automatically as a result of the postures that we're going to do. The shaking is a natural way to discharge energy from the body. These postures will apply a certain amount of stress on the body, on the muscles and on tendons, because if we do that, after the yin yoga postures, you will automatically release the tension. Animals do this automatically. As humans, we used to do it as well. But we have forgotten this natural way of discharging energy and of releasing stress and tension in our body. And when we release this stress and tension in our body, we automatically release the stress and tension in our mind as well. Mind, body is one. So oftentimes, after a yin and tension release class, you will feel more balanced, more calm, and more energized. You can do this class in the morning, in the midday, or in the evening. It really doesn't matter. You can do this every single day. It's a complete safe method. However, if you have any questions, you're always free to reach out to me and to ask if you want to know if this method is suitable for you. Let's start. We're going to start in a standing forward fold called ragdoll pose. And for ragdoll pose, you're welcome to place your feet hip width apart, to have a slight bend in the knees. I highly encourage a slight bend in the knees, because if you lock the knees, the energy cannot move in the whole leg area anymore. So we always want to keep a slight bend in the knees. We oftentimes think that we need to straighten the legs completely. This is harmful in the long term for the body. Keep a soft bend and then fold forward from the hips. Fold from the hips, fold from the hips. You already see that my legs are bending more, and that's okay. That's okay. Because we want to fold from the hips, we want to tuck our pelvis, we want to move our pelvis backwards, and fold from the hips, fold from the hips, fold from the hips, over the legs, over the legs, over the legs. Drop the head and the arms and the hands. And now we're in ragdoll pose. Maybe you've been taught that you need to straighten the legs. However, if you do this, what I oftentimes see is that people do this. This is very harmful in the long term for the pelvis and the lower back. You want to bend the legs so you can fold from the hips. You can make the movement from the hips instead of from the lower back. We'll be here for 1 more minute. Keep breathing. I'm going to change perspective. It's not the aim to have the legs straight. It's important that you keep breathing, and if you feel like moving a little bit from side to side or front to back, you're welcome to do that. It's your practice. Well done. From here, we're moving into a tabletop. So place the hands on the mat and move into a tabletop shape on your hands and your knees. Now bring your left foot in between your hands and then come high onto your knee and move your hips forward. Make sure that your knee is on top of your ankle, because if your knee comes more forward, you're losing a bit of the stretch in the right hip flexor. So the target area in this shape is the right hip flexor, the right area of the hip. As you can see, my knee is on top of my ankle and I'm moving from the hips. We'll be here for 1 more minute and a half. Keep breathing. If you want, you can place your forearms on top of your leg. Keep breathing. Most likely, you will also feel sensations on the inner groin of your left leg. And maybe you will also feel sensations in your lower back. If you have sensitive knees, it's wise to protect your knees, maybe with a cushion or a blanket. Keep breathing with me. Very good. From here, place both of your hands on the inside of your left foot and move your left foot to the outside of the mat. Maybe you turn your feet a little bit outwards, maximum 15 degrees. Maybe your knee falls outwards as well. You can stay here, or you can explore if you have the possibility in your body to move on your forearms. You can also use a bolster or a blanket or yoga blocks or a pillow to put your forearms on. We'll be here for 2 more minutes. This posture is called lizard pose. Another name for this posture is dragon pose. It's a part of the dragon series in Yin Yoga. We're working very deep on the hips at this moment, so maybe you feel some frustration or irritation coming up. That's completely normal. Maybe you ask yourself, why am I doing this? These sensations are not really nice. Make sure that it doesn't hurt. The sensations will be there and they can have an intensity up to, I would say, maximum up to 80%. Don't go to your full 100%. Move to 70 up to 80% of your maximum intensity. Keep breathing. Maybe you also feel sensations in the buttock area and the pelvis area. That's okay. Unless if it hurts too much, it's not supposed to hurt at all. Actually, there will be sensations, but if it hurts, please come out of this shape. 1 more minute here and then we'll move into the other side. See if you can make your breath out a little bit longer than your breath in. So maybe breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 6. We're moving out of this shape and come high on your hands again. And move back to a tabletop shape. Breathe here for some breaths. And we're moving to the other side. Place your right foot in between your hands. Maybe move your foot a bit forward. Then come high onto your left knee this time. Move forward, move from the hips. Keep your shoulders low. And maybe the muscles of your face relaxed if possible. See if you can release tension from the forehead, your eyelids and your jaw. And maybe lean onto your right upper leg and breathe. If you feel like you're losing a bit of your balance, you can always move your right foot a bit more to the side. In this way, you're creating more distance in between both of your legs, and that usually gives more balance. If you're looking for ways to intensify the stretch, you can bring your left arm over your head and move it to the right side. Just for a moment. You'll probably feel more sensations now on the left side of your body, left side of your torso as well. Very good. We're switching to lizard pose. Place both of your hands on the inside of your right foot. Move your right foot to the outside of the mat. And then you can stay here or maybe explore if your body allows you to come a little bit lower. Maybe leaning on the mat, maybe on a block, a bolster or on a pillow. It's okay if your knee falls outward. Make sure that your right foot stays on the mat. If you decide to stay high on your hands, I suggest not to put your hands like this, because in this way you're also blocking the flow of energy. Always place your hands like this with your fingers spread and with equal pressure on the hands. It's also better for the wrists to have your arms like this and not like this. This can be harmful for the hands as well, because the hands are not that strong. The strength comes from the arm and the shoulders. One more minute, keep breathing. Maybe again in for 4 and out for 6 or 7 or 8. It really doesn't matter if you're either high or low, as long as you feel the sensations in the hip flexor area of the hips and pelvis and inner groin of the right leg. Okay, we're coming out of the shape. Move gently. or gentle. I don't know. I'm always confused with how to use these words. Make your way into a seated position and then bring your legs to the front. Maybe shake them off a little bit. We did some deep hip work. And then open your legs. Again, I would not go to 100%, I would go up to 70 or 80%. For some people, this is a very easy shape. Some people have the possibility within their body to fold forward completely. I don't have that possibility, that range of motion, and that's okay. Because it's about the stretch. I am feeling a stretch on the inside of my legs as well as on the hamstrings, and that's where we want to feel it. From here you can either stay up seated or move a little bit forwards. As you can see, I'm still bending my knees a little bit to protect my knees and to make sure that I'm not overstretching my muscles. If sitting in this shape is very uncomfortable already from the start, or if you're noticing that your back is rounding a lot, you can sit up on a pillow, a block, or a bolster, and you can move your pelvis forward and fold from there. 1 more minute in this shape. Keep breathing, lower your shoulders down, drop your head. Don't pull on the hands, it's not about pulling. It's not about going further, stretching deeper. It's about meeting your body where it is at this moment without applying force or power. Very good. Come out of this shape. Move your legs together. And then we're moving down on the mat. Place your back on the mat. I'm already shaking, I'm already feeling it. Maybe you notice it as well. From here, bring your arms next to your body and bring your legs up. Again, keep a slight bend in the legs. Because if I'm stretching, I'm blocking the shaking, I'm blocking the release. So I want to keep my legs a little bit bent and have my toes pulling at me. So the feet are flexed, there's a little bend in the legs, and there's also space in between my legs. Because if I keep my legs tight together and straighten them, there's no release, there's no tension release. But if I keep my legs separated, have a little bend in the knees, I feel the shake, I feel the trembling, I feel the release of tension. Keep breathing, very important. Why is it important to keep breathing when we're working with the body, when we're working to release tension? Because our breath can work as a tool to release energy as well. If you want, you can breathe in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. It really depends on your own preference. From here, bring your legs down. Open your knees to the side. Place the soles of your feet together. Bring your feet a little bit closer to the buttocks and to the pelvis. And from here, lift your hips up 10 to 20 centimeters off the mat. Your Feet stay together, the soles of your feet touching, and we're staying here for 1 more minute. And as you can see, well, maybe you're not looking at the camera, so that's great. Maybe if you are watching this video, you can see that my body is already moving a bit, that I'm like making small bounces up and down. That's okay. Keep breathing. Make sure that you're not holding a lot of tension in your body. See if you can soften as many muscles as possible. This pose should be quite effortless actually. If you think like, oh, I can stay here for 5 minutes, that's the feeling we want to grasp. And maybe if it's your first time doing these exercises, these practices, then it can be quite challenging. But after time, after doing this for several weeks, you will notice that it will get easier and easier every time you do it. From here, lower down, bring your back on the mat, the pelvis on the mat. And then from here, we're slowly going to bring our knees together. And this is where the release of tension happens as well. This is the trembling, the natural discharge of energy that is happening in my body because of these movements of the yin yoga we did. Slowly bringing your knees together. You're allowed to follow your own pace. Maybe you want to move a bit slower, maybe a bit faster. Keep breathing. If you feel like closing your eyes, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, keep your eyes open. Maybe you ask yourself, am I doing it right? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. This is a natural way of discharging stored up energy in the body. We're releasing energy at this moment. We're releasing tension. And it's also normal if emotions come up, if feelings arise. It could be feelings of happiness or sadness. Maybe there are feelings of anger, maybe of grief, maybe of joy. It's very normal if these emotions and feelings arise. Keep breathing. And at any time, if you feel like it's becoming too intense, you can always straighten your legs. And when you straighten your legs, you will notice that the shaking stops. When you notice an intense trembling, you can stay there to allow the trembling to happen. Maybe you feel like breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Maybe with a sound of ha or an F. If you start to notice shaking in other body parts, that's also normal. That's a normal response of the body as well. Shaking to release. Shake it off. Keep breathing. When your knees are almost together, you're welcome to open your knees again. Slowly. We want to move slowly and in presence and in attunement with our body. And when you open your knees, I can feel that the shaking stops. And then we're going to do it one more time. Bringing the knees together. If one cycle is enough for today, I would suggest you straighten your legs and rest there for a moment. And otherwise, if you want to join me, let's continue. Allow the energy to go wherever it needs to go. Don't try to control it. Don't try to stop it. Develop trust in your body and in your bodily sensations. And after the second cycle, you're welcome to straighten your legs. Bring your legs a little bit wider than hip width apart. And if you have a bolster or two blocks or a rolled up blanket, you can place it underneath your knees. You're very welcome to close your eyes. And if you prefer to keep your eyes open, maybe have a soft gaze, as if you are daydreaming. Allow your arms and your hands to be relaxed. As well as the back of your head, your neck, shoulders, back, pelvis, your legs and your feet. If you feel like staying in this shape longer, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, let's bring back some movement in our body by moving our fingers and our toes, our wrists and ankles. And then place your feet behind your pelvis. And in your own way, move back into a seated shape. Take your time. And before we're going to end this practice, let's do some shaking off the hands. So make this movement like you're dusting it off and move it away. You don't need it anymore. And then place your hands, your fingers on top of your head and slowly make some ticking movement on the top of your head, back of your head, forehead, cheeks, sternum and chest, your back, belly, sides of your body, your legs and your feet. Place the palms of your hands together, hands in front of your heart, and bow down for yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for moving with me and for trusting me to be your guide in these 30 minutes. If you have any questions, please let me know. You're always welcome to reach out to me. Thank you.